Yo, welcome back to On The Legacy, where we talk about health, wealth, and lifestyle. If you didn't know, my name is Vincent. Thank you for spending your time with me right now. We're at the No Excuses Club. Here we go, right into the video. No time wasted, let's go. 3 things that can happen to a person that's alive right now. The first one, a loss of a loved one or a heartbreak. Number 2, a loss of a career or a main source of income. And number 3, the person gets sick or disabled. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I've personally gone through all 3. And not just one at a time. It was actually all 3 at once. In the end of 2020, I lost a loved one, got my heart broken. I lost my main source of income. And number 3, I lost my health. I was so sick and tired of how my body felt, being overweight and no energy when it comes to just living everyday life. I realized that it was time for a change. The best way to learn is to experience things on your own. Now, the second best way to learn is learning from other people's mistakes. In 2019, I started a part-time business in the financial industry where I help people learn about the importance of personal finance. So I first started learning it for myself because I didn't know anything about finance. All I knew was work, earn money, and then spend the money. I didn't know how to save, invest, pay off credit cards. I didn't know what interest was, compound interest. I didn't know the basics of finance. So when I got introduced to the financial industry, I told myself, take this time to learn for yourself and start implementing these strategies and these financial concepts into your life and then see where it takes you. I found out that I was able to learn and earn at the same time in the financial industry, especially learning about personal finance. I got my license, I got training, I got everything that was needed for me to be able to go out there and share about financial education and the concepts of money. Mind you, I didn't have any background in finance. I didn't have any background in entrepreneurship and business, and I had to learn everything from level 0. So it took a while to get my mindset where it needed to be, but in 6 months, I made more part-time in my business than I did full-time at my job at that time. 2020 came, and that's when COVID hit. Man, it was crazy because so much happened during COVID times. I experienced success in the financial service so fast. I had a great agency, a good team of like-minded people, young, hungry, ready to serve and help the community and their families. But when COVID happened, we couldn't go out there and sit down with people and have a one-on-one and talk about finance. Everybody was hoarding their money. They didn't want to talk about money. Everybody was just trying to save so that they could survive the COVID era. Nobody knew how long COVID was going to last. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So for 7 months, I probably helped like 3 clients. I helped them to really set up something great for themselves in the future. When it comes to financial service, it is high ticket sales. So I don't have to go out there and sell hundreds of items or thousands of items to make good income. I can just help one family plan for the future, for retirement, investments, insurance, and proper protection and long-term care, and I can earn a couple $1,000s depending on the family's need. It wasn't sustainable at that moment. I honestly didn't know what to do. That was honestly the very first time that I felt like I failed. At the end of the day, everything costs money. Just because you lost your source of income or your career or your job doesn't mean the bills stop. That's just the reality that we live in, especially here in America. It sucked, experiencing that. I just want to say, there's hope and there's a way out. If you just continue to fight the good fight and believe in what God has in store for you, you're going to make it. That's what life is all about. Life is all about the journey, not the destination. Life has ups and downs. But we need to learn how to appreciate the up so that we can appreciate the down. The second thing that happened in 2020 was I lost a loved one and got my heart broken. And that was really hard to accept, because it's not easy to lose a loved one and get your heart broken. And when I lost my career and didn't have the income for 7 months, getting my heart broken was the last straw. I realized that it wasn't that person's fault, that it was my fault for being complacent and being a victim and not doing what I was supposed to do. Because the financial service industry is an evergreen business. Everybody needs money and everybody needs to learn how money works. But I used COVID as an excuse not to put my whole heart into going out there and serving people when it comes to financial education. And losing a loved one and getting my heart broken was probably the best thing that could happen to me, because it's what pushed me to win back myself. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but when you're in a relationship for many years, I stopped taking care of myself when it came to communication, my confidence, right? I was overweight because I was not worried about my health at that time, and everything kind of came crashing down on me. Reality started hitting me. I made a decision that night that the next day I was gonna win back my health in my life again. So if you're going through a heartbreak right now, or you just lost a loved one, just know that there's still a future and there's a lot to look forward to. It's not the end of the world because you lost a loved one or you got your heart broken. You're still breathing, you're still alive. You still have an opportunity to continue to live your purpose, the purpose that God has in store for you. Giving up is not an option. I wanted to give up so many times, but I'm so grateful that I didn't, because I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. And the third thing that happened in 2020 was realizing that I was getting sick, that I was overweight, my energy was pretty much gone, and my self-confidence and self-love was non-existent. I was about 190 or 200 pounds, between there, 190, 200 pounds, just overweight. I looked at myself in the mirror that night and I said, man, Vincent, what happened? How could you have let this happen to yourself? And I started taking responsibility for everything. I started taking responsibility for losing my agency. I started taking responsibility for getting my heart broken. And I started taking responsibility for being sick and not confident with my body, being overweight. Going to full circle right now. Why wait for something bad to happen to your life before you actually take charge of your future? I wish someone told me, hey man, look, instead of waiting for things to go bad before I took action. If you're in a position right now in your journey where you're overweight and you're not confident about your body, you're not confident about going out there and meeting new friends and dating again and all of that stuff, it takes a toll on your mind. And if that's you and you're watching this, it's time to change your health, to decide what tomorrow is gonna look like. And if you're watching right now and you're in a position where you're not happy with your career, or you feel like you're about to lose your career, do something about it now, before it actually happens. Because if you don't have any money saved or put aside right now, you don't have an emergency fund, and you lose your career today, it's gonna be a whole different story for you. And I don't wanna see you go through that, because you can do something about it now, before that happens, before you lose your career or your income. If you're in a position right now where you feel like you're about to lose a loved one, or you're about to get your heart broken, don't wait for that to happen until you take action. Because once that happens, the recovery process takes some time. It's not just the next day you're gonna be, oh, I'm good. You're gonna have to take some time to mourn and heal and recover. And sometimes that can take days, weeks, months, some people even years. You and I don't have weeks and months and years to waste right now. It's 2024. It's the beginning of 2024. It's time to get things going. Take control of your health starting today. Eat healthier. Start working out. Start being more active. If you need help on that, find you a coach. Find you somebody that's actually living that life to help you start your fitness journey and win your health back. If you're in a position right now where you're paycheck to paycheck, you're not saving, you're not investing, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, it's time to change that. It's time to sit down with somebody that's licensed, that has experience in building a strong financial foundation for people. It's time for you to sit down with somebody and get your financial house in order. When you take care of your health and your wealth, you're able to create the lifestyle, this lifestyle that you've always dreamed of. And if you don't know what kind of lifestyle you want, sit down and ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of purpose do I have in this world? One of the best things that happened to me, the Lord God came back to me in my dreams and called me back, and I answered. If you feel like you're lost right now and you're hopeless, and don't worry, because I was there too. I've experienced that. I don't know exactly what you're going through and how you feel, but I've gone through something similar, being hopeless and having no purpose. And because of God, I have a new purpose now, a new hunger to serve and create and give back to humanity. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I love you, God loves you, and God has an amazing, wonderful plan for your life. So go out there, kill the freaking game, because no one's gonna do it for you. Peace out.